I thought the generative AI I talked about a few months ago in a separate video was realistic, but when I saw what we're about to talk about today, it made that look like a kindergarten drawing. So the company OpenAI just released their new video generator Sora, and you know what? I'm not even going to describe what it looks like, I'm just going to show you a segment from the video they posted on Twitter demonstrating what it's capable of.
1 year ago, Sora 1 redefined what was possible with moving images. Today, we're announcing the Sora app, powered by the all-new Sora 2. It's the most powerful imagination engine ever built. And it's packed with new features. I'll pass it to Bill for more details.
Now every video comes with sound.
Sora 2 is also the state-of-the-art for motion, physics IQ, and body mechanics, marking a giant leap forward in realism.
Yeah. Freaking scary, right? We are actually cooked. Like, it's not even funny, even though I'm about to laugh, how cooked we are. If this technology continues to progress, which it most definitely will, I am 1000% getting scammed when I get old. Like, I've already heard stories about people who supposedly got calls from their children begging them to send them money because they've been kidnapped, only to find out that the call was a complete scam and the voice was AI generated. And if people are already doing that today, just imagine what scammers are going to be capable of 10, 20 years from now as AI generated videos continue to get more realistic. But people are already using Sora to generate all kinds of AI slop. Like, I've already seen videos of people generating anime such as Dragon Ball and One Punch Man, Hunter x Hunter, Tokyo Ghoul, Death Note, Attack on Titan, etc. I saw this one AI video of Makima from Chainsaw Man making ramen, and honestly, if you showed me that video without the obvious Sora logo, I probably would think it's real. There's also this fake cyberpunk gameplay that someone generated, and at first glance, without the obvious Sora logo, it looks pretty authentic until you learn that it was just made using a prompt. And I thought this technology was scary a few months ago, but now I'm even more scared because, like I said in my previous video talking about this, as this technology progresses within the next 5 years, we're not going to be able to tell what's real and what's fake. And the effects of that are going to be felt pretty much all over the world. And let's just put the generative stuff to the side. AI itself is already having an extreme environmental impact as its data centers are consuming a gargantuan amount of water to keep their servers cool. In fact, according to an article from the Environmental and Energy Study Institute, a medium-sized data center can consume up to 110 million gallons of water per year for cooling purposes, equivalent to the annual water usage of approximately 1,000 households. Larger data centers can each quote-unquote drink up to 5 million gallons per day, or about 1.8 billion annually, usage equivalent to a town of 10,000 to 50,000 people. Together, the nation's 5,426 data centers consume billions of gallons of water annually. One report estimated that US data centers consume 449 million gallons of water per day and 163.7 billion gallons annually as of 2021. And that article also says in a previous paragraph that only 3% of Earth's water is fresh water and only 0.5% of all water is accessible and safe for human consumption. So pretty much what I'm getting from this article is, we're cooked. We are actually screwed if we don't do something. Because again, this is what's happening now. As AI progresses, the data centers are going to need even more fresh water to keep the servers cool, which means even more fresh water that's consumed, and eventually, if something doesn't happen, we're probably going to start running out of water. But again, only a very small percentage of that water is actually drinkable. So if we don't find some sort of alternative to keeping these data centers cool, or perhaps, I don't know, shut the whole thing down right now, fresh drinkable water might become a scarce resource, which means that in various countries throughout the world that already have very limited access to it, it's going to be even harder and even more expensive to access it in the coming years. But even in countries like the US where it's relatively available, the price for it is going to increase over time as the demand for it goes up, so you better start saving your freaking money because water bills are probably going to start getting really expensive. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if in 20 years the world becomes like Mad Max. But going back to the topic of of generative AI, it is bad for a whole host of reasons, mainly that it's just gonna start replacing people, especially those who do things like marketing, art, commercial making, writing, etc. I mean, heck, we already have an AI actress, quote unquote, and calling her an actress is honestly very generous because she's not freaking real, and she's not even acting either. She's just a series of code followed by an AI generated video following a prompt that some person typed. That's like calling someone who can name all 7 planets in the solar system an astronomer. But getting back on topic, companies are just gonna start replacing people with AI, because let's say a company wanted to make a commercial. Why would they waste time and money hiring people, trying to find a proper location to shoot the commercial, buying camera equipment, hiring editors, etc., when they can just type in a prompt into an advanced AI video generator and boom, it generates a commercial for them, all while saving them a ton of money. This is seriously going to hurt people in various industries. In fact, it already is. A lot of people are currently losing their jobs because of this. And with the technology's rapid progression, this is only going to get worse as time goes on. And that leads me to asking the biggest question that I have about all of this. Well, I really have two, but this is the main one that I have. What is the point of having AI being able to generate super realistic videos to the point where they actually look authentic? Because honestly, I'm only seeing negatives in all of this. The only real positive I see is if you just want to generate something stupid or funny. But even then, whatever you're thinking of generating, you can probably find it somewhere online. This kind of technology is only going to hurt us in the long run. It's already hurting us in the workplace and environmentally, but it's also probably going to hurt us creatively, as a lot of students today are currently using ChatGPT to write their essays for them. And now with this extremely advanced AI generator that's come out, a lot of people aren't going to want to learn how to do art or how to draw or even how to write, as they can just type in a prompt into Sora or ask ChatGPT to write something for them. Granted, there still will be people making art and writing, but it's going to be a lot less common, especially with the younger generation, as they're going to grow up on this technology. So they're really not going to want to do it as much because they know it's a heck of a lot easier to just use AI rather than do it themselves. And this is potentially going to really hurt the up and coming generation, because when it comes time for them to actually do something on their own, they're probably either not going to be able to do it or just do a really poor job. And that's not only going to hurt them academically, but it's also going to potentially hurt the world as time goes on, because they're the ones who are eventually going to enter the workforce. So a lot of people probably aren't going to be able to land a job because they've been so reliant on AI growing up. Or who knows if they'll even be able to find a job within like the next 10 to 20 years, considering AI is already replacing people in the workforce. But I'd say the worst part about this is that this is quickly going to devolve into people using it for some very bad purposes. For example, let's say somebody wanted to cancel Mr. Beast because they just don't like him or something. They can easily generate an AI video where it looks like he's saying some heinous stuff when he doesn't know he's still being recorded, and then they can spread that video all over the internet being like, oh my gosh guys, look, it's Mr. Beast saying all these horrible things, and then they can get him canceled, and a massive hate campaign might start against him, some sponsorships might pull away, and by the time people figure out that the video was actually fake all along, it might be too late. And this doesn't just apply to people who are popular online, this can also apply to people who are just popular in general, like celebrities, political figures, spokespeople, motivational speakers, etc. People already spread lies about content creators online in order to try and cancel them, but now that technology like this is just publicly available, it's going to be even easier for them to take these people down. But this is also going to cause people to question the legitimacy of this, as whenever there's like an exposed video now or sometime in the future, the person they're trying to expose can just easily clap back and be like, oh no, all that evidence they brought up, that's actually just AI generated, that's not me. Which means that the person trying to expose them is going to have to prove that those videos are real, and with AI rapidly progressing, it's going to be very hard to be able to tell the difference between what's real and what's not. And listen, I know I've been exaggerating a lot in this video, and I don't mean to fearmonger and cause panic, but I do fear that we are witnessing the beginning of a massive snowball effect. If AI goes unchecked and unregulated for too long, it has the potential to be extremely damaging. And I do hope that regulations are put in place to prevent that from happening, but honestly, it doesn't look like that's happening anytime soon, but that could very well change. I don't know what's going to happen, and I hope that everything I talked about in this video doesn't happen, but until then, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. And that's going to do it for the video. Thank you for watching, and yeah, peace.